Hi guys, I didn't announce this to anyone, so I'm just surprising you with a live because I've been going through, I've spent the past hour and a half replying to messages on Facebook, and I noticed some people are remarking on low energy, sugar cravings, and so I wanted to talk about adrenal health today because the majority of people that we come across have some kind of adrenal despair because of our lifestyles. There's a few reasons why we have adrenal burnout, and there's like 3 phases to adrenal burnout, right? And so one, the obvious reason is stress. 2 is because of blood sugar issues, and like your blood sugar should be doing this throughout your entire life, but the standard American diet blood sugar does this. And so for every high, your body has to use a lot of energy to bring it back into neutral again. And then you go high again, and your body utilizes energy to go back to neutral again. Another reason why we have adrenal burnout is because of a combination of that, and we tend to overwork ourselves, whether it's at work or at the gym. How many people have been under the impression that in order to lose weight, you just have to work out more? And so we've turned into a society that if we're working out, we're overworking out because we think that's better for our bodies long term, but really it's tanking our adrenal system, and it's tanking other areas too. So for instance, if you're trying to heal like your adrenals or some part of your body or your thyroid, but all of your healing mojo is going to your workouts, then we might have an imbalance in healing and repairing in that sense. What do the adrenals do? What are the adrenals? They're these little glands that sit on top of your kidneys, and they produce hormones to basically bring your body back into balance, as well as get you into fight or flight when you need to. So it regulates your body's ability to go from like 0 to 5 miles an hour and 0 to 100 miles an hour. And in our society, we're going from 0 to 100 more often than we're going from 0 to 5 or 0 to 10 or 0 to 15. And so our adrenal they overwork, and they're doing this constantly. But a lot of the time they're just way up here when really we should just be utilizing them over here. So pretend this is like homeostasis. This is the area where our body thrives the best in. And our adrenals are like, woo, woo, woo. They're just all over the place, right? So children tend to do that too. I'll share a little experience. I'm trying to get some work done this morning, and my kids are just constantly fighting, and it stresses me out so much that I start shaking because like first I'm frustrated, then I'm mad, and then all of a sudden I'm like mean mom comes out. That's my adrenals, because they didn't just say, hey, we're over here. They went from 0 to 100, and they kept me at 100. And then eventually I'm going to hit like a crashing point. So like in an hour, I'm going to like need to lay in bed because my adrenals, they're like, boom, 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 boom. Okay. Instead of this like, hey, let's run, and then let's rest, and then let's run and let's rest. Okay. So here are some supplements to help with your adrenal health. A code for 15% off. Tris, can we do something like Adrenals 15? Okay, so Adrenals 15 is going to be your discount code for the next 48 hours, you guys, if you wanted to try these supplements. Remember, when I recommend adrenal supplements, it's always on an individual basis. So I'm going to try and do as much educating as possible so you guys know how to implement your own protocols, all right? Let me read some of these comments really fast. I want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. This is one of the reasons I stopped running, not just the heat. I think it's working against my physical body. Exactly. So people that have like adrenal burnout, so for instance, yes, like exercising is going to use that healing mojo to heal and repair your muscles versus heal and repair your organs, right? When I had Graves' disease, I could hardly exercise, but I knew I had to burn off some cortisol. So I literally got like 5-pound weights, and I would do like 15 like bicep curls and 15 tricep curls and like 15 squats, and that was it for me. Like 5 minutes of exercising and I was pooped out, right? So you just have to be really, really mindful of what your body is capable of in the meantime. Think of it this way. If you were pregnant and you just popped out a baby, your body went under massive amounts of stress. Are you running the next day? No, you're healing, you're repairing, right? And so we have to remind ourselves that we expect so much so much from these little bodies of ours. We have unknowingly abused them for so long because our standard American diet that we were taught was food was actually harming us, right? And then now we're in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and we're realizing, oh my gosh, like I had no idea I was affecting my body so badly. So again, gentleness, meekness, like be kind to yourself, but realize that adrenals, like we gotta really pamper them and take care of them, okay? Oh, another thing. So I mentioned stress with adrenals, sugar metabolism with adrenals, because the standard American diet does this and the adrenals have to overcompensate. Thyroid dysfunction. If you have thyroid dysfunction, adrenals have to kind of take over, but they don't take over in a good way. Like the thyroid tells your cells how to metabolize energy optimally, right? When you're not when you're not producing energy because your thyroid is slow, then you're feeling tired. Guess what? Adrenals have to kick in, but they're utilizing cortisol. They're using stress hormones. So your energy is coming from a space of stress and inflammation. So the adrenals are supposed to be like a short-term Band-Aid, but they end up becoming the long-term Band-Aid, which then leads you into like adrenal distress and adrenal fatigue. All right. And then you're like stuck in bed all day and you're like, I can't do anything. I need 2 naps a day, like an 80-year-old. It's not because you're 80. It's just because we just didn't know any better. Okay. So, one thing that I really love is Drenamine. I put people on Drenamine a ton. It's an adrenal food. So you gotta think of it this way. Like, how badly burnt out are your adrenals? Are they to the point where you need to feed them and then take something temporarily to do the adrenals job while they're healing? Or can you still feed them and utilize them at the same time? And so Drenamine is an adrenal food. And what I normally tell people is I start them off with like 4 at 10 a.m. and 4 at 2 p.m. If that's not good enough, then we try 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 3 in the evening. So instead of taking 8, 4, and 4, they take 3 times a day. And then we can up that or down that according to their symptoms. That one is pretty safe to take on a long-term basis. I've had clients that are actually runners that are like, I call these my energy pills. And again, because it's feeding your adrenals. There's also adrenal tonic, which also feeds your adrenals too, but it's also a little bit of like, it's an adaptogenic supplement too, and you don't want to do this very long term. So I used to take this every day. Again, you can do a teaspoon at 10 o'clock and a teaspoon at 2 o'clock. Why? Because that's when we start dipping, right? Like we kind of get tired in the morning and then we get really tired at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, right? So you want to take like a teaspoon at 10 o'clock and a teaspoon at 2 o'clock, all right? And support those dips in the day. That one is not too long term. But people don't like the adrenal tonic because they don't like the taste. It doesn't taste awful, but it doesn't taste like candy. So I actually don't mind it. I kind of like it because the licorice in there has a nice sweet aftertaste. Adrenal complex is like adrenal tonic, but half of the adrenal tonic. So if you absolutely hate the adrenal tonic, you can take the adrenal complex. But if like, why go halfway when you can go full way? And the adrenal tonic is just that much more potent and powerful. So these are all like baseline feeding the adrenals, helping you function, slowly getting your energy up. If you are in like full blown adrenal crisis mode, then I don't have it on me today, but then there's something called desiccated adrenal. So you guys are a lot of you are very familiar with thyroid dysfunction. And there is a thyroid medication on the market called, what is it called, Tris? That's pig thyroid?
Nature thyroid?
Is it nature thyroid? So it's pig thyroid. So the desiccated adrenal is adrenals from animal, all right? So it almost acts like the nature thyroid for the thyroid, but it's adrenal. And so this one you want very, very short term. You don't want to be on desiccated adrenal for longer than 3 months. All right, that's like maxing it out, because what is it doing? It's taking over the adrenals function while you are feeding the adrenals with adrenaline and the adrenal tonic. All right, so you're feeding and resting your adrenals, and then you are supplementing from another adrenal source to do the work for you, so that when you are slowly going to incorporate your own adrenals function again, it's rested enough. Think of it like this: when you break a leg, you can't walk on it, right? So you have to rest it. But with your adrenals, you can't just be like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to rest my adrenals. It doesn't work like that. When you're in a stressful situation, they jump to work, right? So what you do with the desiccated adrenal is let that do the work for you while you're healing your organ system, all right? So with the desiccated adrenal, I start people off with 2 at 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. and then 2 at 2 p.m. If we need to up that, like to 3 or to 4 at a time, according to everyone's like health issues or how fatigued their adrenals are, if they're in massive adrenal burnout, then we will up it. But again, that's where we try to work closely with our clients with that, through consults, through symptoms, through food diaries and all that jazz. So hopefully that gives you guys kind of a starting point. Honestly, I feel like Drenamin is a safe go-to. So if you're like, yes, I want to feed my adrenals somehow, Drenamin is the way to go. It's got so many great things in there. And then the adrenal tonic is my second safest bet for you guys. All right, so you can take that as well. Remember the code adrenals15 is going to be your 15% off discount. And then if you're in like full-blown adrenal burnout, then that's when we're going to go to the desiccated adrenals. Now remember, these are all Band-Aids. Like this isn't the thing that's going to heal your adrenals, because if you're implementing these things and you're working out like a madman and you're eating not super awesome, then this isn't gonna, it has to be like a holistic approach, right? So you don't have to commit to this now if you're like, you know what, my nutrition just isn't there yet. Mentally, I don't know if I can do X, Y, and Z. That's okay. Like maybe in a month's time you'll be ready for that. Maybe, but I do hope people recognize that when they are implementing supplemental stuff, hopefully they're implementing lifestyle changes too. Carrie, I'm going to read here. I don't know where to start. I have insulin resistance, estrogen dominance, histamine intolerance. Oh, see more. Very likely adrenal fatigue, liver congestion, and leaky gut. So many things to address. What first?
Liver reset.
So the liver reset. So that was Tristan. So we are coming out with a liver reset program. Maybe you want to start dumping your liver and going with that, like cleaning out some of that. So that's going to help with the estrogen dominance. That's going to help with the insulin resistance. It might be tricky with the histamine intolerance, but it will help with the adrenal. It will help with the liver congestion for sure, and the leaky gut. So I would say let's start with the liver reset program. Okay, Carrie, that was a really great question. Does anyone else have any other questions so far? Or did I miss anything? This is me, especially working from home. Guys, kids stress me out. I don't know how people do it with I'm a very average mom, and I wish I could be better. I wish I could be super mom, but as soon as they start fighting, and they're not just like, I was just complaining about this earlier to my friend Jared. They're not just like fighting over there. They're fighting on top of me, and they're fighting over like who can touch me. And I'm like, don't you guys realize this is my body? I have been very triggered this morning, and I'm like, just let me work. So no other questions. And I realize my kids just want my attention, and I work a lot. So any other questions, concerns? That's adrenals in a nutshell, really, you guys. Support those babies. That's why you're feeling tired. That's why you are feeling tired but wired. If that resonates with you, tired but wired, put a thumbs up, because that's a lot of people where the adrenals are now just like sputtering all over the place, and they're like, we don't know what's happening. So remember, feed those adrenals. Again, like meditation is key, obviously, stress management, sleeping. Are you guys sleeping? Like, let me know if you're sleeping well or not, because if you're not sleeping well, there's things like Tristan, what are some of your favorite sleep aids? CBD, you guys. Our CBD is fan-freaking-tastic. I'm gonna kind of like jump the gun on this, but Carlin Call, who's Just Ingredients, you know, millions of companies reach out to her, right? Because they all want her to market their product. And she's tried so many CBDs. And then I had her try our CBD and she said, what do you do differently? Because I can tell immediately that your CBD works. She's like, and we've tried tons and tons of CBDs. And she's like, I love it. My husband loves it. And he has like back problems and they love it. And she's going to share it, I think next week or the week after or something. So if you're wondering like what CBD helps or is like, if you've tried CBD before and you're like, it didn't work for me, maybe try ours. All right. Because it is amazing. It doesn't taste great. If you haven't learned by now, the things we make you try don't taste amazing because we don't add tons of like artificial stuff in it. It doesn't taste amazing, but it works really, really, really well because our extraction process is extremely unique. We don't use solvents. We actually use air to warm air to extract the CBD. And so you can taste it. A lot of people are like, oh, that tastes like weed. And it's like, well, yeah, it's from hemp, right? Carrie, you do sleep well. Yes. Oh my gosh. At least you have that going for you. If you're not sleeping well, your adrenals are like tanked. CBD has been great at helping me sleep. CBD is also great for anxiety. Oh, that's a great idea. I should take some CBD right now to like help calm my nerves. I was at first, I'm like, I need some kratom. And I'm like, no, actually CBD. I'll just do CBD. That's okay. So anyways, you guys try CBD. Kava Forte helps with sleeping too. Tristan really likes Nevaton. Nevaton, Nevaton. Tristan, what's Nevaton good for?
Nevaton is for emotional. It's for emotional stuff. So if you have anxiety that's related to trauma or depression even, and those things tend to get in the way of your sleep, then Nevaton's magical.
Yeah.
It's a blend of herbs, by the way. There's
Nevaton?
an herb called Nevaton.
How should people take it?
You can do up to 4 a day, but if you're using it for sleep, then you want to take it like an hour before bed, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Valerian root is another good one for sleep. It has like passion flower and other things that are really calming. And then if your issue is that you are just like up here all the time and you don't know how to get yourself down without alcohol, then kava is your best friend.
Right. Kava's really great.
Kava's fantastic.
Yeah.
One other thing, there's a glandular product that's really great called Minchex.
Minchex is really awesome.
And what's nice is it has a bunch of minerals in it as well, so it can help to calm you from like the trace minerals aspect of things.
There you go.
And then of course magnesium.
Yes.
Always a good one to make sure you're getting at night. So.
Exactly. And your minerals, you guys. So if you need like minerals are fantastic for blood sugar, for cravings, for mood. Superior, you guys. Like Superior's fan-freaking-tastic. My next favorite is Trace Minerals, and then next is Cell Foods. The only reason why the only reason Cell Foods isn't my number one is because the price point. It's like really expensive. So yes, kids are rough, even working from home. What did you say, Carrie, about kids? Kids stress me out too. I'm so glad I'm not alone. And the thing is and what's really sad is when Adrielle comes and they're like excited to see her, and I'm like, oh, they love her more than me. I know they don't, but sometimes it's like, oh, they're happy to see her. Can you do a post about all the things you guys just listed? Do you want me to do it in the post or do you want me to do it in the comments here? Because I can do it in the comments too. Like, let me know. Or I'll just do both and I'll just list and put a brief description of everything. You guys are doing amazing, by the way. Like, you're doing really hard things. This is really hard. Like, this is a hard space to be in. This is why no doctor talks about this stuff, because it takes a lot of mental energy and it takes a lot of deprogramming, right? When you are changing your lifestyle and your eating habits, like it is really hard, and it's emotional labor, and no doctor wants to go there. Most people don't, but we're all here for each other, and you guys are here for each other, and I love that. So thank you. So much, yeah, Carrie, so much mental energy. I get it. I totally do. I'm wondering too, can you guys do lives on the Facebook group, or is it only like us that can do it? Because I wonder if can they?
We can give them the ability.
You know what? We should do like a Zoom call. Like everyone, like maybe do a Zoom call, and we just kind of like introduce ourselves if we want, and just say what, like go around the circle and be like, what's hard for you? What are some things that you look forward to? And like everyone, like that would be really fun, I think. Maybe we should schedule something like that. Some updates. Next week, Elir Gregoris, we had to move his interview to the following week because he's going to be driving to Alaska. And I was like, go and enjoy that. Like, I'm like, don't, he's like, I can try and figure out a time to do live. I'm like, no, you're going to be on vacation. Like, don't work. And he's like, well, this isn't work. Elir is fantastic, you guys. He is so freaking fantastic. So we're going to be recording a podcast with him on his new book. And then you guys are going to have an exclusive live with him. So it's going to be really fun. So he is a psychologist. So Tebecca will post a post with the questions that you guys have for him. And we will go from there. But yeah, maybe we'll do like a Zoom call where everyone gets on and we'll talk about it. It seems like you guys want to do that. And I think that'll be really fun. And it can be like group therapy. Maybe we should have Elia do that with us, like where he is, that would be really fun, like having a true therapist do that with us. Okay. Hopefully you guys learned something new today. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are getting out in the sun and getting some vitamin D and taking care of yourselves and eating yummy, yummy food and being with really great people, like surrounding yourselves with great healing people. Okay. Love you guys. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon. And where do I finish this? Right here.